What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video I've got a really awesome surprise for you. I just got off the phone with Dave a little while ago. I recorded the conversation and I'm going to be bringing that to you in this video. So how you been doing in there?
Oh man, it's been a wild ride the past week.
I'm right.
Bunch of crazy stuff. This one dude in here got his leg cut off.
What? And that's going to be coming later in this video along with an update about Dave. There is one other thing that I do want to tell you guys about. This just happened yesterday and it's a crazy damn story. So without further ado, what do you say we just go ahead and dive head first into this video? I want to talk to you guys about what a shakedown is like while locked up. Whether you're in a jail or whether you're in a prison, a shakedown is essentially the same thing, where guards and staff members come into every single housing unit in a jail or a prison and basically flip that place upside down. And in a lot of cases, they actually have guards who are trained specifically for these shakedowns, whether they're members of a task force, strike force, whatever the case is. These guards are specially trained in shakedown techniques and tactics. And when these guards do actually come into the housing unit, they go through every single nook and cranny, every possible hiding spot that you thought might be the perfect hiding spot to be hiding contraband. And contraband are the things that prisoners are not allowed to have, whether it's porn, whether it's cell phones, money, drugs especially, tattooing equipment, food that may have been stolen from the kitchen, wine. The list really could go on and on in terms of what is actually considered contraband inside either a jail or a prison. And again, when these guards or specially trained guards come into a housing unit or cell block, that is exactly what they're looking for. Another thing that's looked for during these shakedowns, other than contraband, are fresh tattoos, and especially gang-related tattoos. In fact, some of the shakedowns that are actually executed inside these facilities are actually just done so for a specific reason. Maybe there's a utensil missing from the kitchen, such as a ladle, something that could be fashioned easily into a weapon, or maybe something has been stolen from a prisoner, and that prisoner in turn went and told the guards saying, "They stole my radio." Yeah. I have seen shakedowns executed because something has been stolen from a prisoner who then went and told that whatever it was in fact stolen. Please help me. But no matter why a shakedown does take place, one thing is usually the same with every damn shakedown that ever takes place in any facility anywhere. And that is that guards try to use an element of surprise. They always want to catch prisoners by surprise. That way they have like the best chances of actually getting the most contraband or whatever it is in fact that they're looking for. But having an element of surprise with a shakedown, it's really not always the easiest thing to have. Because one, whenever a shakedown does take place, they're gonna have to start in one cell block or maybe two cell blocks at the same time. And that leaves all of the other cell blocks to basically just lie in wait. Which, in most cases during that time, word does tend to spread throughout the facility. Whether it's through a prisoner, or whether it's through a guard. In most cases I have seen, prisoners usually get at least a little bit of a heads up that a shakedown is coming. And with whatever time that they have from that heads up, prisoners will usually use that time to try to get rid of or hide whatever it is that they have that they are not supposed to have. And I have to assure you that guys locked up, they will go to the most extreme lengths to not get caught with whatever it is that they have that they're not supposed to have, that they're wanting to keep. And one such extreme length that I have seen prisoners go to try to hide something is in relation to fresh tattoos, or especially the gang-related tattoos. I have literally seen guys locked up try to cover up these tattoos with either paint or colored pencils that they have broken down with either water or lotion or something, trying to make a paste out of those colored pencils, while at the same time trying to match those mashed up colored pencils or paint to their skin tone. I mean, these guys are actually making makeup while locked up. And not the M&Ms or tattoo ink that Peaches would use to paint as eyeliner. This is actually makeup that's like almost needed in an effort to try to hide either fresh tattoos or gang-related ones. And just to throw this in there as well, I have seen times when this has worked perfectly, and I have seen times when this hasn't worked at all. Why do you have that discoloration right there on your arm? You obviously didn't do so hot in art class when it came to trying to create a skin tone. And not only are you going to the hole for that fresh tattoo that is hidden under that botched attempt as some sort of makeshift skin tone, we're also going to figure out a way to charge you with trying to cover it up as well. And there really is just so much more I could tell you about shakedowns, what it's like to actually go through one, all of the crazy shit that I've seen in relation to going through the many shakedowns that I've gone through in my lifetime. But that's not really the reason for me bringing up shakedowns in this video. In fact, the reason that I am trying to give you a little bit of background information as to what shakedowns are like is because of what just happened yesterday in St. Louis, Missouri at a jail called Jackson County Jail. And it was at this jail, and also for the second time in less than 2 years, that they had a shakedown yesterday that really wasn't like any other shakedown I've ever experienced myself personally. And that's because of the fact that it wasn't jail staff who was executing this shakedown, it was actually the FBI. Yesterday at Jackson County Jail in St. Louis, Missouri, the FBI, for the second time in less than 2 years, raided this jail and performed like the most extravagant, extensive, extreme, extraordinary shakedown I have ever heard of in my life. In fact, this shakedown that took place yesterday was so extreme and such a big shakedown that they actually had 6 buses of FBI agents and also other law enforcement officials as well. Over 200 people took part in this shakedown / raid of this jail in Missouri. And though they haven't actually stated what the purpose of this shakedown / raid was, back in February of 2016, they had a similar raid where FBI agents simultaneously swept through 3 floors of the jail looking for various drugs, contraband, cell phones, and more. Various drugs, contraband, cell phones, and more. Almost sounds like a commercial that's advertising something. And since that sweep that happened last February, 4 guards from that jail have been indicted for some very, very crazy shit. The article says allegedly. I'm not really sure about how allegedly this really was. I'm pretty sure it was correct. But allegedly, this story says there was a guy who was beat inside of his cell. There was another guy who was getting raped by another prisoner and guards didn't step in to help him. And a female inmate who says that a male prisoner got inside of her cell, raped her in her cell, and said that it took quite a while before guards actually stepped in to break it up. So with these kind of allegations coming out about what's going on inside of this Jackson County jail, and I'm not sure if these allegations stem from the first sweep or are what led to this sweep in particular, but this is some pretty crazy shit to be hearing about going on inside of a jail where certain guards seem to not be doing shit to protect these prisoners who are there, or just essentially to be doing their fucking jobs. There's one last thing that I want to say about this shakedown raid that just took place yesterday. They said that this wrapped up at 7 a.m. in the morning yesterday. That tells me that these 6 busloads of agents showed up in the middle of the night and probably flipped that place completely fucking upside down. Who's to say if anybody had any sort of a heads up in this? But I am very curious to know how all of this plays out and what other kind of shit surfaces from this shakedown / raid. And I really do want to know what you think about this. I mean, think about these allegations coming out of this jail. Think about these guards who are not doing their fucking jobs. Think about 6 busloads of feds showing up in the middle of the night to raid an entire jail. Not just the cell blocks and the housing units, but also where the guards are stationed at. They're probably looking at cameras, footage, computers. It's pretty fucking crazy to think about. And I really want to know what you think as well. Moving on, I do want to give you guys an update about Dave. I did just get off the phone with him a little while ago. I recorded that conversation. I'm going to be playing that for you. He told me some very crazy shit about a guy who just got his leg cut off yesterday in the jail. This guy was diabetic. Dave doesn't know whether this guy was actually taking his medicine, being given his medicine, but being a diabetic locked up could almost be like a fucking death sentence. There's also a lot more that I need to update you guys about in relation to Dave. I will be doing that later on in this week. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and play you guys the conversation that me and Dave had this morning. So how you been doing in there?
Oh, man. It's been a wild ride the past week.
I'm right.
Bunch of crazy stuff. This one dude in here got his leg cut off.
What?
Hey, yeah, right? That's what I said.
He got his leg cut off in there?
They weren't taking care of his diabetes and insulin, or he wasn't. I don't know what the deal is, but they took him to the doctor, and he just came back yesterday, and they cut his left leg off at the knee.
shit.
Yeah, he's got like 30 stitches in it. It's fucking, it's nuts. It's nuts. Or staples. He's got staples.
Damn.
And he's a big boy too. He's like 6'7", 380 pounds.
Yeah, that's horrible, man.
Yeah. But they just brought some dude in and put him in the camera cell in his suicide suit, his turtle suit. But everybody that's been in here a while was like, you're gonna see, we're gonna be locked down a lot with this dude because he don't know how to not. He just be talking trash to the police. So they're like constantly bringing people in to talk to him and lock us down for it.
Was he crazier than a motherfucker?
Hell yeah, I've already peeked it, and he's only been in here like 10 minutes.
Jesus, what's he in there doing?
Right now, he's talking to the mental health lady, but when they gotta drag his ass out, and they gotta lock us down. Like when they put him in there, they locked us down, and they videotaped the whole thing because he's the type that'll like call TV10 or something. So like they recorded the whole thing of locking him in and stripping him butt naked. I was like, damn, they just made like a small softcore porn.
They're making porn in the jail. We got a ton of mail here for you. We just went to the P.O. box yesterday, and I know we got a ton of mail for you. So I'll be sending that out probably tomorrow for you. But
Oh yeah, Jersey B said she sent 2 letters to the mail to the P.O. box.
right. I'm telling you, like no matter what we do, no matter what the video is, whatever we got going on, the comment section is still #FreeDave, man. So there's a lot of people out here still rooting for you. Everybody wants to see you come out of this situation. And, you know, everybody asks me all the time, they're like, how long's Dave going to be in there for? How long is he going to be in there for? I don't know what to tell them. I just say, you know, hopefully sooner than later, you know?
Yeah. I guess the best way to put it is, you know, they want to give me a year and a half to 2 years.
That's unbelievable, though.
It is unbelievable. I mean, no matter what my record is, this situation does not, you know, it doesn't make sense to give me that much time if it doesn't. It's like pointless. At that point, they're only doing it, you know, like, I guess, protocol, or however they want to say it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you know, well, here he is. We're going to lock him up forever. You know, there's no real, like, oh my God, he's this, or he's a bad person, or he's a threat to society. We need to keep him. You know what I'm saying? There's no point behind giving me all that time, and I don't see him giving it to me either. Like, I'm not even worried about that. I don't even think I'll get 12 months. I hope I don't get more than 6 months for real.
You know, it's crazy because it reminds me of when we went to court, how the prosecutor called you a threat to society.
Yeah. Man, I tripped when the prosecutor looked at you and said, do you give him piss test?
Yeah, I probably dropped the ball right there. You know, because
Should have been like, yeah, he works for me.
Well, you know, I made a video about it after the bond hearing, and I said, you know, your lawyer wasn't shit. You know, he didn't even go in there and fight. I felt like I was doing all the fighting for you in the bond hearing. And then the prosecutor's going to say, you know, well, do you give him piss tests? And I said to him, no, I'm not a probation officer. And, you know, I probably could have answered that a lot better, but I was already angry at that point, so it just kind of came out.
Well, by then, and Judge Wright is the judge that sentenced me last time.
Right. Yeah, he said he knew you.
In 2015, he sentenced me in 2015. They wanted to give me a year and a half to 2 years, and he gave me 10 months.
Well, hopefully he's going to look out for you this time, because this is some bullshit that they I just can't understand why they would want to give you 1.5 to 2 years when you didn't bring back a charge and you were in detox.
Yeah.
Have you heard from your lawyer at all?
No.
Yeah, you know you won't neither. I mean, it was so crazy because I didn't even see your lawyer until right when it was time for your case to start, or your bond hearing to start. And I mean, I was looking for this guy for a good 2 hours before this even began. And they actually had to hold off your bond hearing because your lawyer wasn't even in there. Like, they had to go find this guy. So as they're finding him, that's when I'm first starting to get a chance to talk to him. And, you know, I'm just like, hey, I'm here for Dave for his bond hearing. He's like, okay, I'm just going to put you on the stand. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Dude,
he didn't even call me. I told him, I said, hey, could you please call me and let me know when the bond hearing is.
Remember, I talked to you the night before the bond hearing.
Right.
I called him that night, even though I knew he wouldn't answer. I called him that night, and I left a message on his phone. I called him, through somebody, so that I could leave a message.
Right.
Right? I told him who I was. I told him what was going on, and I said, please look for Joe at court tomorrow so y'all can, get your game plan together. I know he listened to the message.
Yeah. I texted him while I was on my way to court, but I couldn't bring my phone in there. He did text me saying he was there, but by that point I was already in the courtroom or in the courthouse looking for him, so it is what it is. Hey, look, Dave, this call doesn't got a lot of time left, man. Is there anything you want to say to everybody right quick?
Man, I just, I can't stress enough, man, how much I miss y'all. The fans, just the Apps Army, 100%. Y'all have made this the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, and it's hard to say that because I'm locked up, but, my time's going by smoother than it's ever done before. The love with the mail, commissary, a few guys are getting together to send me books. It's just, the love is ridiculous, and every time I think about it, I get all warm and mushy inside. It's crazy how much y'all are doing.
You have 1 minute left.
And I just want to say thank you. Y'all are by far, one of the best things that's ever happened to me. That's how I believe it.
Hey, Dave, let me just tell you one thing.
The caller has hung up.
Damn. And I don't know what happened there at the end. I can't really tell what was going on right there. I was trying to tell him one last thing. I didn't get a chance to do that. But for the most part, he does seem to be keeping his head up. And I know APS Army, who are standing behind him and supporting him, is a major part of the reason why he is able to do that. I do hope that everything does work out in his situation. I'm trying to do the most that I can in relation to helping him get through this. But it almost seems like there's just not that damn much I can really do. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace! I want to give a few shout outs from Twitter from yesterday. I tweeted out yesterday's video, and I said that if you retweet this tweet, there's a possible chance you could get a shout out. I'm going to try to get back to doing these shout outs every so often. And with that, I do want to shout out these awesome people from yesterday. Joshua Warden. Let's go ahead and follow him. Lewis Daniel. Gabe Martin. Let's go ahead and follow him. Cassidy Stabler. Follow. My homeboy Big Steen. Follow Big Steen. I didn't even know I wasn't following you, bro. And Kyle will follow you as well. Making people laugh and smile is what I live for. Come on and watch me. That should be my byline right there. Hey, look, until next time, peace.